Nobody actually tells you what it cost. They just tell you you're brave, it's the right thing to do, that it's hard. But in reality, getting full custody and having your child full time actually costs a lot. It doesn't just cost you money, it costs you friendship groups, connections you had, going out, having fun, living 20s the way you wanted to. So I got full custody at 21. I had my solicitor fees to pay for, 8 grand in total. But you pay that money because if I don't, I won't win for my daughter. So being that young, I didn't have the money, so I borrowed, sold things, and got myself into debt in a bit of a sense. But I wouldn't change the fact of doing it because it's the best thing I've ever done. It's nothing. It's one thing I don't regret at all. Is fighting for my daughter because I showed up, I stayed consistent, I went through for the fight, and I came out on top. But then the real work starts because the cost of having a child full time without a partner, because I left the situation with a mother because it wasn't doing me any good, it was toxic. And then I fought to get full custody of my daughter because I didn't want her growing up in that environment because it wasn't healthy, it wasn't right. There were times when I was at work where my daughter would get shipped off to my mum and dad's by her mum because she couldn't cope. What does that tell you about someone's character? If they can't cope when I'm at work and they ship my daughter off to my parents and they were cancel plans left, right and centre just so they could look after my daughter. They love her to bits. They'd do anything for her. The thing was, her mother couldn't even look after her. But when she was shipped off to my parents, she was off out drinking and stuff. So more times than not, my daughter was at my parents when I was at work. But I couldn't afford to live by myself with my daughter when I got full custody. I had to move back into my mum's because I didn't have enough money behind me to get a house. So it was just me and my daughter. So I had to buy time and stay with my mum until I was ready. When I was eventually ready, I got my first rented house with her. It was small, wasn't the best, but it was ours. But what else I lost along the way was my friendship groups because I couldn't always say yes to going out. I had to prioritise my daughter because that was the right thing to do, but my friends couldn't understand that. So I lost friendship groups. Invitations stopped coming because I kept saying no. And then when my daughter did visit her mum, I was picking up extra shifts just to survive, just to pay off debt, to get through the month. Because being a dad and a man, the weight of both pressing down on you it can be very lonely, especially when there's people around you who don't understand. Family say they understand and they'll be there when you need them, but when you actually need them, where are they? They're not there. They're not there to help you. They're not there to support you. So it was hard for me, especially at a young age, because I'm watching people on Instagram when my daughter's in bed and my mates are out drinking, off on holidays, doing stuff together, but my invites stopped. But one thing I will not do is regret my decision for going for full custody because it's the best decision I ever made. Fighting for my daughter, showing her that I'm showing up every day consistently for her to be in her life so she can be the one when she's got a problem or learn something new. She comes and tells me first because it's a safe environment for her to come up in, knowing her parents love her. And there's also a different kind of broke of the loneliness of thinking, no, does anyone even remember you exist? Because they're all out partying, doing whatever they're doing, and you're sat on the floor watching Peppa Pig and Moana for the 4th time that day. Because that's what your daughter wants to watch. And not having anyone reach out to check in on you. And you're the one always reaching out but they're not getting a reply. It's a loneliness that it sticks with you, it hurts. And trying to make friends again, like people that are dads, it's hard because you just wanted your friends that you grew up with, the ones you went to school with. But in reality is, you've outgrown them. You've become someone else. You had to become someone different for your daughter, your son, your kids, because that's what they need you to be. It is hard. I've struggled for many years until I actually started working, until I was working on myself and figuring stuff out. I had to build systems so I could get through, not snap as much. I kicked my addiction with cocaine and alcohol because being that person wasn't what my daughter needed. I needed to be someone else. I needed to be someone better. So being a single dad young is very hard. You have to go through situations, dating again. Before I met my partner who now I have my son with. So 3 or 4 relationships before that where one of them didn't want to know my daughter, so that had to end. And then there was another one where we were together, she got on with my daughter, but then I was technically a rebound so she could go back to her ex. And then I had another one where we were getting on really well, and then she ghosted me, and my daughter got on well with her daughter. The reality is, it's hard dating as a single parent, even for mums. But it's realising you don't settle someone who's not going to include your kids in their life and be a part of their life. You've got to find someone who's willing to put the effort in you and your kids. And it's got to work for your kids as well. If it's not right for them, it's not going to work, it's not going to last long. And you being with someone that's not right for your kid is going to hurt them more in the long run. But it's all about learning, growing. I find every day as a learning day, because you can always learn to be better. You can always learn better methods, better strategies, better ways to show up. It's not all about having the fancy house, fancy cars, buying your kid whatever they want. Sometimes it's about just the time you spend with them, what you teach them, what they learn from you, what they teach you about you. Because kids can teach you a lot about yourself, but then they can always show you ways of learning, because growing as a parent is beneficial to you and your kids. Because if you show up better for them, you'll show up better for yourself as well. And it's all about just being the best parent you can, and not just shoving a screen in the face, and actually just being present with them, teaching them. So if you're a dad in the middle of it, sat on the kitchen floor at 1 a.m. crying, or looking at your bank account thinking, can I make it work till Friday? Hasn't spoken to another adult in days. I hear you, I see you, I get you. I've been there, and it's hard to get through. This is why I've created a community of dads who have no judgment, who are there to support each other, men who understand the real cost of showing up for their kids every day. I'll leave the links down in the description, and if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, like it, and follow along for more.